Welcome back everybody to another classic product review, and today we'll be reviewing Groom & Clean, which is one of the precursors of modern hair gel. Now this stuff over here is one of a kind, but it's not the first to be whatever it is. It's sort of like kind of like a hair cream, but it's more of like a hair gel kind of thing, except it doesn't harden at all. And it actually has more body than I expected because we tapped the can. I mean the tube. You would have this like hollow ring to it. It's just pretty similar to any other gel type pomade. Even conventional hair gel doesn't make this sort of ring, but Groom & Clean actually does. And my hair is just very slightly damp right now. I'm just going to dampen it just a little bit more for the application of this product. And it was around since at least 1965, but it was not the first to do it, but one of the first. And actually the very first product I believe actually has a sort of like gel cream kind of thing is called Score. And it is not made anymore. This version of Groom & Clean is by Suave. Originally it was made by Chesbro and Pond's. Apparently the same people had made Vaseline Hair Tonic, but they eventually sold out to Suave. Suave discontinued Vaseline Hair Tonic and they kept producing this one. And it sort of looks like a toothpaste tube. And you squeeze it out. It also has sort of a toothpaste color to it, but more like hair gel. It has a bit of a body to it, just as I said, and it doesn't actually feel greasy whatsoever. Just break it down. It just feels like hair gel, but just a little thicker than regular hair gel, slightly less liquidy. And I'm actually quite surprised to read the ingredients and find that there is some grease in it. There's lanolin and mineral oil. And prior to this, to ordering this, I actually did not know about the ingredients whatsoever. And even if you rub it, you would hear a little bit of a noise. You hear that squelching noise that it makes. It's pretty similar to regular hair gel. But if anything, it's more close to an orthodox gel type pomade than a regular hair gel. Applying it, there's sort of like, it's very, very easy to apply, of course, but it feels like you're applying a hair gel, but just a little stickier. The shine on it, you would initially get sort of like, it's definitely sort of a high shine, but it's not as much as Brill Cream is. It doesn't look nearly as greasy as well. It's sort of like, it looks a bit like when you just apply Suavecito, like a gel type pomade, like Suavecito into your hair, with just more shiny in that, with a little more sparkle to it, if that makes sense. But throughout the day, the shine just goes down a bit, but not immediately, not as quick as hair gels or gel type pomades. But the shine is still present, but it goes eventually down to sort of a more medium-ish and a little more natural and less wet looking kind of shine. And you can see this stuff is really slick. It's actually slicker than Brill Cream is. It's slicker than regular hair gel. It's got more control than Brill Cream does. And it actually is sort of like, obviously a light hold, but it's pretty similar to, it's almost similar to that of a light pomade. It actually holds a little better than some ridiculously greasy light pomades that I know. Gotta add a little more to the sides. And furthermore, the most important use of this is for degreasing. It just works like a charm. And it's no secret because pomade junkies like me have been using Groom & Clean for a long time for quite a while already as one of the methods to degrease your hair, especially for rather wax heavy pomades. I tested the degreasing factor of this stuff with New Nile just a couple of days ago. Well, some could argue that I could use Murray's, it's a little more waxier, but I just don't like Murray's, and New Nile's sort of like a better cousin to Murray. So I tested out using New Nile. I used about 2 scoops of it, and it took me about what it could normally take about 4 washes to get out of my hair without much. Groom & Clean breaks it down and takes only 2 washes to get it out completely. So with some pomades, Groom & Clean, with the amount I use for pomade, Groom & Clean allows me to take 1 or 2 washes, sometimes 3 at most, but never more than 3 washes to get completely out of my hair. Now, also the slickness on this one, like I said, it's pretty slick. It's really slick stuff, but eventually throughout the day, as you'd expect with any sort of jelly kind of product, your sides would just poof up a little bit, but not drastically. But it is pretty much very slick for a gel kind of product. And it would, of course, your hair would expand throughout the day, but it wouldn't be as bad as using other hair gels. Because with what I found with the other hair gels, they tend to be very slick, and during the day you would have your sides just poofing up a little bit. This would poof out, but not very drastically. The slickness pretty much remains, and eventually it would feel a little sticky at first, but it does not harden at all. And if you actually keep this for a couple of hours in your hair, and even like for more than 24 hours, your hair would actually feel very natural, really. And it's sort of yeah, I'm a little lost for words right now. The words just suddenly came out of my, it just disappeared out of nowhere. You know what, that kind of happens. But it is, of course, very easy to wash out. It's not completely water soluble because of the oil content it has within it, but you can't really feel the oils whatsoever. And it would, the majority of it would actually come out of hair with just water, but it's mostly water soluble, but not completely. You do need a bit of shampoo to get it out completely out of your hair. But my final verdict on Groom and Clean: highly recommend if you're into classic products. And even for a classic product, this is well ahead of its time. It may not be the first, but I'm pretty glad that, you know, it's sort of an old hair gel kind of thing still exists like this, because Score is probably the original one. They were probably the first to do it, but Score doesn't exist anymore, and Groom and Clean is the closest thing out there you can get to Score that comes from the 20th century. Score is from at least the late 50s. This is one from 1965, if I'm not mistaken. Probably a little earlier, but it's been around since at least 1965. So it's awesome for degreasing. It has sort of a great shine to it, but not the best, but it's a really nice shine. Breaks down your pomade like a charm. Better control, better hold than Brill cream or any hair cream from its time, and it is a really great alternative hair gel. For those of you who want to use hair gel but really don't like the hardening at all, Groom and Clean is the perfect alternative to this. So I guess that is it for this review. There's not really much else to say about it, and I'll see you next time on The Squinty Show. If you do enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe to this channel, click on the bell icon to never miss a single upload on The Squinty Show, and do leave a comment as well. And I'd like to see more requests and questions from you guys, and I'll see you next time.